The Scorched Basin is a Mad Max / Dune-inspired system-agnostic TTRPG setting. But is this desert punk supplement hot, or is it just
It's
coarse and
rough and irritating.
And it
And
gets everywhere. Hello and welcome to Crowd Quest, the show where we explore tabletop RPG books and gear currently funding on Kickstarter or BackerKit to find out whether or not it's worth your coin. If you love this idea, be sure to like the video, comment, and share it with your gaming group, because I'd love for this to catch on so publishers might show us exclusive sneak peeks for future videos. But for today, we'll be scouring the Scorched Basin Kickstarter page, starting with the trailer, then the complete campaign info and rewards, and my final thoughts on what kind of player should back this project. Please note that if you choose to support this project using my referral link in the description, I will receive a commission, which in turn supports this video series, but I'm not receiving any other kind of payment for this review.
Come close.
Okay, so we have the voice of what makes sense for this desert environment. It's dry and rough and cracked, but to me, yes, sounds like someone who has smoked a pack a day for their entire life. Should I be trying to mimic the voice? Let me do that.
Drive fast.
I can't do it, never mind. Have no mercy, and you must find the mysterious crystal. It will shape the future of the world as we know it. Okay, we also have some classic desert-like video game music here. This hellscape is bursting with 6 desert terrains. We have the sand dunes, the petrified woodlands, the salt flats, slot canyons, which is always really cool. A slot canyon is such a 3-dimensional environment, like a forest, but even more easily climbable. Underground caves, of course, and the canyon. Key locations ranging from an extravagantly corrupt fortress down to a humble warrior village. Within this tome, you will find a number of detailed battle maps. Pausing just because I love this art here. We have our shield wall warriors, some other very colorful folk. Our Mad Max inspiration really coming in hot with these guys all hanging off this junker vehicle, as I believe they call them. This guy swinging is giving a little bit of like Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2, where you would throw webs and it would kind of just connect to the sky. Also, is this a guy just rolling in a big wheel? I forgot I need to be narrating this. The chaotic conditions of these 5 hostile tribes are simply unavoidable. The brutal Skara values strength, combat, and community above all else. Unruly riders live only for themselves. Through the insane speeds of their bashers, the nomadic unsettled wield a strange but powerful magic used to bring natural balance. And isolated, the Khan dynasty redefines... Oh boy, wait, what? I'm way too distracted by the insane art here. Crazy, this is just a city. Okay, they're just selling portraits. And the most rectangular afro I've ever seen. And sightless, the doe flock expand their underground citadel, singing out beautiful melodies as they scurry through the darkness. That is very reminiscent of the Elder Scrolls goblins, right? Use their notes on 21 key NPCs as guidance as to who might aid you and who will end you. And look at that. A very concept art-like style. Not to minimize it in any way, but when I say it has a sort of like waxy crayon-like appearance. Flee for your life using 1 of 10 junker vehicles, or if you're feeling brave, risk saddling a wild creature roaming the sands. The Scorched Basin can be an entire campaign setting, or simply dropped into your current world. They've collected epic expansions from some of our favorite creators, including, whoa, who's this guy over here? And so let me be clear. Yes, I did a voice for, I believe, one of their 21 key NPCs. Go, my child. Explore the setting. Find the crystal. Don't forget that. And I really like how they set us up with this premise right away of, but you must find the crystal. And interesting to remember, this is a setting, not an adventure. So it's not like some plot we have to do. It is a Skyrim-like main quest where I guess we can just avoid it as long as we want. So now what do we see here? Of course, Scorched Basin, Mad Max / Dune inspired. We definitely got that vibe from the giant worm and these vehicles. System agnostic. That's something exciting here. And this little thumbnail shows that this could be used with 5e 2024, with Daggerheart, with Shadowdark. We got some vibrant and colorful art here in a unique style for sure. Definitely looks like some kind of dreamscape here. So maybe that's our nomadic tribe. And it tells us to use this tome as our briefing guide, your translator, your map, and your manual. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Okay, direct call out to Lord of the Rings right there. 5 battle maps of key locations, including 2 cities. So that's our highly technologically advanced city, and it mentioned a humble village. There are 4 printable 3D models, that was not mentioned in the video at all, of Mad Max style vehicles and NPCs. 5 new plug and play bashers, land vehicles, with system agnostic stat blocks. 34 plug and play NPCs, which are also system agnostic stat blocks. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what those look like. But there are 5 player options. That's going to be the toughest thing to make system neutral. I don't know how you do that. New magic mechanics and a new species, 20 plus tribe themed recipes. So I guess themed to their 5 tribes. And 3 new fantasy languages. That is very interesting. Like, I guess they mean like an alphabet. 30 desert items, 6 unique desert creatures, 15 peculiar plants, that I'll love to see as well, and 100 plus intriguing plot hooks. New alchemy mechanics, a system agnostic land vehicle mechanics, and the last thing, 4 epic expansions from TTRPG YouTubers. Oh, okay. So maybe there are other people at stretch goals or something who are writing more things. I don't know. Delivery before the end of 2025? Good luck. Oh, PDF delivery. Gotcha. But Scorched Basin is a 300 plus page guide to a Mad Max / Dune inspired TTRPG setting. You attempt to survive hostile terrains, brutal weather, encounter savage tribes of the basin. The Scorched Basin's tenuous political web is one misstep away from an all-out resource war. Will you reignite conflict by breaking the Harmony Accords, or will you choose peace by unifying the tribes? Yeah, I think that's something people like, the political intrigue, at least what appeals to me. So I guess we've totally thrown out the idea of like an unbiased skim of this whole thing. How you can choose who is your friend and who is your foe. The Scorched Basin is 100% engineered for, endorsed by, and enjoyed with the TTRPG community. Homie and the Dude, I don't even think I had mentioned the publisher's name thus far, but they're some cool guys, is investing all of its marketing resources into the TTRPG community of creators and stepping away from any corporate marketing through Facebook, Google, Twitter, or any non-TTRPG related corporation. And here we go. Here's a quote from D&D Shorts. Scorched Basin is the anarcho-punk setting for TTRPGs. Homie and the Dude cooked from the ground up, building a badass expansion that slaps your campaign on the ass, okay? Before forcing it to chug a raw adrenaline shot. And they built it entirely in a grassroots community first way. Fight the power in-game and out. Wow. Okay, D&D Shorts. Truly a free man. Okay. That said, let's look at this PDF sample, which I believe is just a single click. 28 pages of a free material here about history and lore, key locations and terrain, language of the basin, the Skara, which is one of our tribes, this is some information about all the tribes, the Skara, the Unsettled, the Riders, the Kai Dynasty, and the Dolflock. Then player options, that's what we want to see. Plot arcs, flora and fauna, item archive. Wow. Wait, is that even correct? Because this only, the manipulations appendix begins on page 15. This is a 28-page doc. Let's just see. And yeah, I'm just very broadly skimming here. Our timeline is the first thing. And I love me a good timeline. I love me a timeline literally laid out like this. More of this cool concept art here. Almost like a crayon, kind of waxy looking sketch. I really like that. For the sake of mixing it up, if nothing else. This is cool because it is different. Terrains, dunes, and we have some tables here that, yeah, a scrap table for things you find in the dunes. A sand dune relics table. One of our maps, the ship graveyard, but it looks like this is a solid amount of content in a free sample alone. So at the very least, you're probably going to want to check out the Kickstarter page, ideally using my link below, just to go download this free sample. We have the Skara people here, some very detailed looking battle formations, I guess. Let's just look at one of these. I got to see this because this is the kind of thing that I'm really into in the fantasy RPG that I will probably never write, but I will keep saying for a couple years that I'm gonna publish it. Anyway, a volley. At least 4 wall warriors and 1 command warrior are alive. They all must have their shields. Command, okay, cannot be issued to the walls flattened. Once this command has been issued, instantly the lines of the wall of warriors disconnect and separate, allowing a second row, how you can, I guess, command a whole group of NPCs helping you in a battle. But like I said, this is intriguing to me specifically. All right, lifestyle, more about this tribe, okay? Key NPCs for this tribe, regional dishes, okay. That's okay. So we got some extra information on that first tribe, and then for like our Doflok people, we don't get the full deal. It's just some items from them. But that's a neat way to do it, to like split up the different kinds of content among these different tribes as well. And that's the end of it. These are our last page spread right here. So the table of contents was like a little tricky to my initial assumptions there. Yeah, there's only one other appearance of the word flora in this doc. Where is it? Here. Terrain flora. So no, I think that table of contents is maybe the chapters of the book, but it says sample pages. I don't know. So that's a little confusing to me anyway. Not intuitive at the very least to me while I'm trying to hold a conversation with a camera. Sample aside, what is included? Wild tribes and diverse NPCs. The Scorched Basin is the home of 5 incomparable tribes. Each one has a wealth and culture to experience and explore. Why not take part in the long-held traditions, indulge in public celebrations, learn unique languages, and gain untold powers! ! Each tribe has many wonderful NPCs to trade, party, learn, and connect with. Each of these NPCs comes with a comprehensive description and system-agnostic stat block, which we didn't see. Did we see a system-agnostic stat block in the sample? They are a medium humanoid orc. Stands out to me as very 5e language. That's the thing about making stuff compatible with 5e and anything else, is you still have to supply the 5e redundant information all the time. Physical, very high. Bingo. So that I think is covering immediately, like they have a lot of HP, they probably have a good AC, and just those terms apply to like multiple games as is. Okay, I don't know what enhancements means. These other things, the progression steps, the enhancements, that just sounds like, okay, here's our own terminology. And probably somewhere else in the book, there's like a designer section on how to use those things and how they apply to different games. Your place in history will be determined by which tribes you align with. Yes. Will you find your place among the maniacal riders, screaming in the driver's seat of a basher, careening at unfathomable velocity as the speed state envelops you in an adrenaline-fueled red line euphoria? Yikes. Or will you travel as a spiritual unsettled, bringing stunning natural balance to the lands by wielding the mythic power of manipulating the frequencies within all things? Or these freaks, what the heck's going on here? Will you advance your social standing within the extravagant Kai through the truly inspired innovations you create and the elegant navigation of the latest trends? And the Skara. We know they're warrior people and the Doflok. We've partnered with APA-Me Ltd, a premier deaf and disabled support community, to ensure we represented sign language and the deaf and hard of hearing community appropriately. The soundtrack, you'll receive 2 amazing songs, cool, definitely something we can't look at here, and new systems. So their epic new skill system, I wonder if that is what they were referring to with the system neutral stat block, like those enhancements and the progression clocks, progression steps, that's what they call them. Recipes from a top-rated chef. These come from the mind of Tracy, the homie and the dude mom, who is a top-rated professional chef. That's cool. What an interesting tidbit to include on the Kickstarter page, though. A setting that feels alive. This hellish desert landscape is ever-changing and constantly fighting back. The harsh weather and terrains endlessly shift, making no 2 journeys across the basin the same. Throughout the 7 diverse terrains, there are 12 key locations. Each tribe's key location includes stunning multi-layered battle maps to enhance visual immersion. Every room, building, cave, hut, wreckage, etc. is fully enterable / playable / combat ready. That's a cool feature. I think pretty unique to Homie and the Dude, this publisher. I remember that's what they did for The Wandering Tavern, I think might have been the name. And somehow they're friends with B. David Walters. Okay, land vehicles. This humongous setting comes with 6 grungy Mad Max style bashers. Land vehicles unlock even more immersive storytelling possibilities by holding volatile races, causing destructive battles, and escaping unrelenting creatures. Here's some of our 3D models. Awesome. Exotic flora and fauna. Yeah, there weren't any flora samples that I could see. You know what? Crud. Maybe there was a flora in the items, but I'm not going to go back now because there were a bunch of items there that I did not take a close look at. But we are promised this myriad of never-before-seen creatures and plant life inhabiting the terrain. We also included some fan favorites like monstrous dune eaters, our version of giant sandworms. Oh, they even call them dune eaters. Okay, awesome. And it's an innovative book. It's their largest one to date. They've elevated the immersion quality tenfold. QR codes throughout the book to easily scan and unlock additional content. Yeah, that's how you're going to be able to access the voiceovers, obviously, because How do you do that in a book? Through QR codes. Cool. And different art styles. Yes. Thank you for incorporating, as they've said here, a multitude of art styles. Wow, and they really have a lot of videos in here. This is kind of unusual. Now here's some extra info though, right? These are their expansion partners. Zach the Bold, Deck of DM Things, the ADHDM. I do a little stare there because Skylar's definitely the first person I'm gonna reach out to about editing this video.
He's unavailable.
And Cinderblock Sally. Each one is writing a groundbreaking 20-page expansion. So getting into the nitty-gritty of the pledge tiers, they actually start out by talking about this commission process and how a lot of the funds are going to content creators. So they're giving 45% of all profits brought in by content creator promotions straight back to those incredible creators. Bingo. Like right there it is. That's a huge commission compared to the few other times I've even done commissions in the past. So we start with just add-ons, where you're not backing anything in particular. You're then going to really pick and choose in a very fine way what you want. And I like that because I feel like that's not common. I feel like most things you need to back a like physical item to do any add-ons at all. So that's cool. PDF tier, £29. I think that comes out to a little more in US dollars. That also comes with a soundtrack. What is this 1 month subscription to some platform of their own? Homie and the Dude Builder? Whoa, okay, so that's interesting. So you get some cool benefits in here, including, not just the PDF. Oh, and you actually get the fonts, so you can write in these fonts. That's pretty cool. Like if you're, again, really into homebrew and like making your own little handouts, that's a cool little perk. The book itself, £55, and this comes with the PDF, and this comes with one creator expansion. So I wonder if you get to choose your creator expansion. That's interesting. Okay, and so it comes with everything below. The soundtrack, the month subscription to their special platform, and these fonts, and these vehicle mechanics as well. Then the deluxe digital tier, so is everything thus far except the hardcover, but instead of the hardcover, you get these printable STL files for minis to 3D print your own minis at home, and a Roll20 conversion, and all those battle maps. Okay. And then the deluxe digital and physical tier. So this seems like this is like you're all in. You want all the digital stuff and all the core physical things. Third-party contributor? B. Dave Walters. Choose either 14-day DM Masterclass or 14-day Player Masterclass to improve TTRPG skills. That is an interesting partnership. So he must have some course that actually exists. I always wondered, like, how come nobody's done that sort of thing in RPGs? And the community tier. So what do we have? Ooh, the dice. And you can choose one of their other books. So Sky Zephyrs and the Wandering Tavern. Yeah, they're really into vehicles, these folks. And then what is this? All in metal TTRPG community. Oh, first 500 backers? Hold on, that's neat. That is enticing. And stretch goals. Homie and the Dude is a small family-run business, so More Desert Creatures is their first one, which is unlocked. Okay, yeah, and they haven't gotten to this one yet. More land vehicles, a war rig STL, that thing would be huge, and additional stretch goals coming soon. Okay, and these are the add-ons, right? So you do choose whose thing you want, whether you want from Zach the Bold, from Deck of DM Things, from ADHDM, from Cinderblock Sally. More add-ons including their previous books, as we saw before, the Scorched Basin Roll20 conversion, the songs, the items and the creatures in the... Okay, now risks and challenges. They say the manuscript is completely finished. They're just finalizing layout and artwork of the PDF. Cool. So they should be well on track to, as they said, having the PDF done by the end of 2025. And I guess they're not even saying, are they even saying when they expect to have it ship? I don't know if they are. And that might be the safe way to do it. So, final thoughts on the Scorched Basin Mad Max / Dune system agnostic TTRPG setting. What stood out to me right away is how they've decided to experiment in kind of a risky way, right? The tradition, because it works, is to advertise, to give a bunch of money to Facebook, or I should say Meta, and to Google, and probably to Twitter as well. So by sacrificing all of that, and just investing in the creator community, they've really taken a risk, but I really hope this works for them. So as unbiased as I can try to look at this, I love the idea of keeping it in the community, right? It's like treating it like a local business that way, even though we are global, separated around the world. And I love that idea. I think it's awesome. because it is system agnostic. So I'm the kind of GM/player who would like this book because I'm kind of like dabbling in a ton of systems at all times now, and like, yes, like I'll focus on one for a period, but then another, and then another, and then another. But also, if you're like me, it's a 300-page book, so it depends if you love to do a lot of reading, which I don't. So if it were like a zine version, like really crunched down into some quick start, I would love that one for sure. But yeah, if you, most people for sure love a big book to sit down with and flip through. So, well, we just lost our video, but I'm gonna keep talking. This is probably a good one to check out because it can just give you a sense for how a publisher goes about making something adaptable to multiple games. And I think that is just a good world to be in because it really will help return everyone to less focus on any one given system and more focus on what makes your game fun. That's what it's all about. So if you're into that too, good one to go check out. And in that case, yeah, go ahead and use my link down in the description to support the channel. And if that's not you and you totally hate this and think it's dumb, you probably didn't watch the whole video. But I'm just gonna say at this point, yeah, if that's you, then please don't comment about it. That's okay if you don't like it. You don't have to like it. Then it's just not for you. But you just don't need to spread that around, man. Okay, have a great day. Let me know if you like this kind of video. Keep building.